And now, the general weather around Alaska.
First, a graphic here will show a high wind warning out for the southern panhandle here, Prince of Wales Island, including Hoyle Pass, Craig, Heidelberg, and Quezon there, and also to the east there for Ketchikan and Metlakatla, and that's out for tomorrow. It's going to be a pretty windy day in these areas coming up for a Wednesday, looking at winds gusting to 60 miles per hour. And then for the satellite imagery here, one band here taking off to the northeast, lost the rest of the loop here, so not much to see. This band here exiting the area there. Otherwise, not too bad over the interior, some variable clouds, some rain and snow shower activity on the North Gulf Coast, and we've got a band of moisture here with mostly in the form of snow from St. Lawrence Island on down across Nunivak Island with some shower activity over the eastern Aleutians, Alaska Peninsula, pretty light there, and widely isolated showers with some clearing over the Aleutians and pretty light wind conditions. And rolling that through again, well, that was anticlimactic there for today. Otherwise, forecast for tonight stays clear and cold north slope into the central interior. Mostly clear, I'll say. Could be some variable clouds. Mostly cloudy down here to the south. Weak trough keeps a chance of shower activity, Prince William Sound, Kenai Peninsula, on down toward Kodiak Island. And a couple of weak lows here over the southern Bering Sea, and just scattered snow showers associated with them. A little more widespread here from west of Adak on out to the west. And also to the north here, kind of a widespread area of light snow in the colder air coming down over the open water. They're picking up some moisture. Some of that snow could be as far north as St. Lawrence Island, as well as into the southwest coast there, Nunivak Island and those areas. And then a bigger storm here coming up, bringing gale force winds and rain here to the southeast coast tonight, working obviously from south to north. And then for tomorrow, high wind warning, gale warnings, gusts of 60 miles an hour for the southern panhandle there, gusty winds and rain for the northern areas, and also some of that spilling westward along the North Gulf Coast. Also some moisture pulling westward here. Could be some areas of flurries or very light snow along the eastern Alaska range, possibly into the Copper River Basin, but whatever falls will be very light there. Otherwise, just a cloudy day for Cook Inlet, the Kenai Peninsula, and going to Thursday's forecast. No change here over the central and northern interior, and backing up this front here just washes out into a mediocre trough, keeping periods of rain going here for the North Gulf Coast, and lighter rain becoming showery down toward the southern panhandle. So looking at some pretty gusty winds, could be gale force east-southeast winds here for the western North Gulf Coast areas and toward the Barren Islands. And then just to the south, the next system pushing northward farther to the west here, and that'll be bearing down Kodiak Island Thursday evening and night. Out to the west, not much change, just a weak low pressure area now over the Adak area. Scattered snow showers over the Bering Sea, mostly dry for the eastern Aleutians, and then continuous area of light snow from Adak westward to Shimei and Attu. And looking at the outlook for Friday, band of light snow here forms from the Bering Strait across St. Lawrence Island, right on down across Nunivak Island, in toward the Bristol Bay area, especially in toward Togiak, Dillingham area, and the coastal areas of the Kuskokwim Delta. Otherwise, dry from the interior here, northward to the Arctic coast. Pretty calm out over the Bering Sea and the Aleutians. And then for this front, bringing gale force winds and rain up into the western North Gulf Coast to Kodiak Island. Pretty good shot of rain coming into Kodiak Island, as well as the southern and eastern Kenai Peninsula on up into western Prince William Sound. And also pretty good rain coming into the North Gulf Coast as well. And another wet day for the Panhandle, but winds will be lighter. And then for the lows tonight, 30s, lower 40s for the southeast coast. Again, around 10 for the Copper River Basin. Teens and 20s, south central Alaska. Mid-30s, Kodiak Island. And 25 to 30 for Bristol Bay. Followed by highs in the 30s there for Bristol Bay. 40 for Kodiak Island up to Homer. Otherwise in the mid to upper 30s, south central Alaska into Prince William Sound. Mid-20s there in the Copper River Basin. And then the 40s for the southeast coast. Followed by lows, 30s and lower 40s again for the Panhandle. and around 10 in the Copper River Basin, 20s south central Alaska, upper 20s Kodiak Island, and lower to mid 20s there for Bristol Bay. And for the highs, mid 30s south central Alaska, except lower 40s there from Homer down to Kodiak, in the 30s for Bristol Bay, maybe a little cooler around 28 for Dillingham, mid 20s there for the Copper River Basin, and in the 40s for the southeast coast. Up to the north, lows well below zero, even into the Tanana Valley there, looking for lows 10 to 15 below, and 20 to 30 below up to the north here, coldest over the Yukon Flats around Arctic Village, I should say, and around Umiat Airfield again, or close to 40 below this morning. Could see that again tomorrow morning. And then the highs below zero from the Brooks Range to the Arctic coast, otherwise anywhere from 2 below to 12 above in the interior there, closer to 20 around Nome. Lows below zero again, not quite as far, but still around 5 to 15 below in the central interior. And again, anywhere from 15 to 30 below, coldest on the north slope there for areas to the north. And then the highs staying below zero, Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast and also into the Fort Yukon area, but into the mid-teens to lower 20s for the Tanana Valley there, and anywhere from 5 to 15 out to the west. And for the southwest coast, lows tonight, upper teens and upper 20s, so the Pribilofs, upper 20s, lower 30s for the Aleutians Alaska Peninsula. Highs tomorrow, mid-30s for the Alaska Peninsula, as well as much of the Aleutians here, closer to 30 for the Pribilofs and 20s for the southwest coast. Lows Thursday morning, mid-teens for the coastal areas there, mid-20s for the Pribilofs, upper 20s to lower 30s for the Alaska Peninsula and the Aleutians. Highs in the 30s for the Aleutians and the Peninsula, and 29 for the Pribilofs, and right around 20 for the coastal areas.